Guys, the implementation of our new business model has resulted in record profits in record time. That means more money for me and more money for all three of you. So, let us have a toast, guys, for more money.
The Sig Sauer P365. First produced in 2018 and sharing many design components from the much larger SIG P320, the P365 is a striker-fired, short recoil handgun chambered in 9mm that fits in the subcompact capacity, allowing it to be easily concealed in clothing and ideal for everyday carry for self-defense. This tiny size has made it exceptionally popular in the United States, where the P365 was the best-selling handgun in 2018 and 2019. Founded in 2011, Strike Industries has had a long history of building custom accessories and replacement parts for both airsoft and real steel. They are especially known for its functional, edgy sci-fi designs. Hi, I'm Andrew, and in this week's video, we're reviewing the teeny tiny EMG Strike Industries SMP by VFC. A very interesting mix between small size and unique customized Strike Industry parts. So let's check it out. Now first things first, what is it? Because this obviously isn't your ordinary SIG. The EMG Strike Industries Strike Micro Pistol, or SMP for short, is fundamentally an airsoft replica of the SIG P365 OEM'd by VFC, but built out of the custom Strike Industries Enhanced Grip module for the frame and the Strike Industries Strike Slide for the slide. This gives it a whole host of more customizable options for you to play with than the bog standard SIG. Externally, the SMP's profile resembles a SIG P320 or M17 and has all the former's button and feature placements, but obviously in half the size. It feels solid, with a nice metal and polymer construction that feels surprisingly weighty for its diminutive size, and is packed full of details, including Strike Industry markings, faux stippling on the grip, and some really proper grippy serrations all over. Let's start at the top, with the replica Strike Slide for the P365. It features a nice futuristic angular design with serrations on the front and rear, allowing for easy manipulation. It has lightning cuts on the front over here and clear iron sights with a dotted front sight and blacked out rear sights. But the real star is that this SMP is possibly the smallest airsoft pistol with an optics cutout in the industry, compatible with micro red dots with a shield standard footprint. What's funny is that this pistol's tiny size makes any micro red dot look like a standard size pistol optic. Kind of like how trimming the bushes makes the tree look taller, and you kind of only realize its real size if somebody physically holds it. Over to the frame, which is based on the Strike Industries Enhanced Grip module. On the front, it features a Picatinny rail for small-sized accessories, and it has a substantial beaver tail on the rear to protect your firing hand from slide bite, which is pretty warranted as your hands will take up a substantial amount of real estate on a pistol with such a small size. So any design that keeps your fleshy bits away from the moving parts is very welcome. The grip itself does feature these faux stipple-esque pads, and the fire controls, like the slide and magazine release, are pretty much the same as found on the larger P320s. It's a proven design, so no complaints here. The trigger guard, however, is massive compared to the rest of the gun and allows for any ordinary sized finger to easily fire the pistol. The trigger itself isn't smaller and is instead a standard stock SIG P320 trigger. The pull on it is really long, one of the longest of recent pistols I've reviewed, and the wall does take some force to push through, though it does have a nice clean break. It's frankly one of the weakest points of this pistol, as you might get the impression that the pistol isn't firing when you simply haven't pulled hard enough. The reset though is barely noticeable, though let's be frank, I really doubt you'd be practicing precise shooting with this. And now to the hop-up. Adjusting the hop-up though requires you to remove the slide just like you would on a P320. And you adjust the dial at the bottom of the hop-up chamber with a hex key right over here. It's hardly convenient, but you know what? I'll give VFC a pass here, as I don't think there really is much space to place a more convenient hop-up dial due to this pistol being so dang small. And finally, the SMP comes with one proprietary 20-round, slightly extended gas magazine that comes with a very nice stippled base plate for easier gripping for those of us with larger hands. And now for the price. At $140 US, the EMG SMP sort of sits around the mid-range, though I would say it's slightly more expensive than you'd expect, especially with a pistol of this size. So take it as you may. So the EMG Strike Industries SMP appears to be a small but solid subcompact pistol that is both comfortable to hold and looks great at the same time. But how does it shoot? Let's head to the range and find out. And now for the Chrono. As usual, we'll be firing 0.2 gram BBs using green gas. And now for the accuracy test. Here we are at landing zone yet again at the 15-meter range as a standard for pistols to go and see what this little pecker can really do. So let's get on with it, shall we? All right, get up there. It's quite, it's very compact, so you've got to sort of get used to where your fingers should go. So just to get adjusted there, all right. Wow, really packs a punch for a pistol of such a small size. You wouldn't really think that it had that much recoil, but it does. Obviously, it's nowhere compared to a real gun, but it's pretty strong for an airsoft gun, even without being it so small. So I am very, very impressed. What's also impressive is actually the accuracy. You know, I was hitting targets solidly, pretty on point, and it did feel really good while doing it. The sights are quite good. Like, obviously I don't have an optic on this one, but if I did, they'd be even better. And with the stock iron sights, they were still lining up really nicely and really well. The only thing I would really have a complaint about is the trigger, it's got a very, very long pull, to the point that, when I first tried it, I thought the gun wasn't even firing because I was pulling it, but it turns out you really need to squeeze pretty hard to get through the wall. But aside from that, it is very ergonomic. It's basically identical to a SIG, P320 or an M17, just smaller. Overall, very functional, very nice, fairly accurate as well. I probably think we can actually push the range of this out to 30. We did some firing tests earlier on, see what that goes. But honestly, I am very, very impressed. The size, as I mentioned earlier on, there's a lot of real estate for your hands to cover. Your fingers start going all over the place. One thing I did notice was that when I gripped it too much, the palm, the sort of like base of my thumb over here, accidentally pushed on the magazine release, resulting in this dropping out, which was pretty embarrassing. So do keep in mind, if you want to sort of target shoot, like a proper shooting, where your fingers go in case they might push against something that's quite important. Obviously, in real life, this is supposed to be a self-defense everyday carry. So you're probably pulling it out of somewhere as quickly as possible to go and get things on target with a very, very short range. So do keep that in mind. This was not made to be like, a target pistol or IPSC. This was made to be the sort of pistol you pulled out within like seconds of knowing you're in danger. And overall, yeah, this fills the role completely well. Either that, or if you're like a girl or a guy with very small hands, this would be perfect for you, because the P320 is a pretty big pistol, It's not suitable for everybody. In fact, it's a bit too beefy for my taste, actually. So this one would be perfect for somebody who wants a P320 or an M17, just smaller. So anyway, let's go see how well I did. So remember I said that we did test this on targets 30 meters away and we were able to get hits? Well, I'm going to demonstrate it to you right now. So you see that one target right the way at the very bottom of the range? Let's see if I can hit it. All right, I have to aim quite a bit higher. Oh, yes. See, there we go. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this actually took several tries. Oh, that didn't work out. The fuck was that? Oh, that was close.
No amount, they can save it.
It still feels great to hit it nevertheless. All right, let's take a look over here. Not bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Now, I did notice that the first few shots, these two, I probably overgassed the magazine a little bit, so they went a little high. So I'm just going to focus on the ones over here. So overall, that's pretty good. Now, I must admit that these are all veering off towards the right, and I do think that's mainly because I'm a cross-eyed shooter. So I'm cross-eyed dominant, so when it comes to pistols, my shots tend to shift over to the right. So that's natural. But I was shooting dead on right over here, and overall, pretty impressive, right? I probably could do a bit better. I'm not actually that good at pistols, So there is that. But overall, still, it is quite impressive for such a small package of a gun. In fact, I would go and say that given the performance, it really puts to bed that, barrel length really matters when it comes to a pistol. Because obviously, this one is still shooting extremely well. Overall, I am very impressed. The Strike Industries sort of aesthetics, I gotta admit, it's a love or hate it sort of thing. I kind of like it. I like futuristic guns and things that don't necessarily make sense. That's probably because I've been playing airsoft for such a long time. Anything new is quite fascinating to me. So the aesthetics might be divisive. So some people might prefer the standard SIG aesthetics. So hopefully that'll come out eventually. But overall, I am very impressed by this tiny, but really, really tough little pistol over here. It really does serve its purpose well. It's good, it's small, it is skirmishable, as you've demonstrated all over here. And overall, I do like it, Packs quite a punch. So, without further ado, let's head back to the studio. And we're back. So the EMG Strike Industries SMP is a solid and tiny pistol that also packs a punch far above its weight class. In terms of externals, it's a surprisingly comfortable and easy to use sidearm, just like its full-size counterpart, and is made of that classic VSC top quality. Shooting performance is also surprisingly good, with a fast and snappy report, though the trigger isn't exactly my favorite. Overall, we rank the EMG Strike Industries SMP a very respectable 4 stars out of 5. So let's hand it over to you guys. What are your thoughts on the EMG Strike Industries SMP? Let us know in the comment section below. And for these cool products and many more, visit us at www.redwolfairsoft.com. This is Andrew, out.